Welcome back to AM Northwest. Well, are you having trouble dealing with a difficult person besides your coworker? Whether they're in your family or at your workplace, chances are good that this problem person is actually a bully. Here with some proven ways to handle them. Please welcome Dr. Michael Friedrich. Good to have you back again.
I sculpted my facial hair.
Yeah, thank
For
you.
This is a map of Afghanistan.
Thankfully, it's not a little bat.
I got that out in here.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right, so let's talk about this. You know, people are bullies when they're difficult?
Well, that's a good way to look at it. You know, if you look at schools, 1 in 4 kids are bullied in school. And the statistics are roughly the same for people in jobs. So it's very clear that bullies don't just go away. They just become adults and enter the workplace.
So do we treat them differently, or your solutions to treating them would be different if it's a coworker versus someone who has to be in your life, a family member, say?
Yeah, one of the first things you want to decide, and this is where a lot of people get it wrong, is this a friend or an enemy? If it's a friend, then your emotion is actually a benefit to you. If it's an enemy, then your emotion is your Achilles heel. Remember that turning enemies into friends is the quintessence of spirituality. So you want to try love first if you can, but if you can't, if you're dealing with an associate or worse, an enemy, then your path becomes very clear.
All right, let's assume that's not somebody you love. And you have to deal with them. So
Assuming it's not someone you love.
yeah, it's
okay.
not someone you love.
Yeah.
It's just a coworker, and you know,
Right.
you have a professional relationship, but not emotional. How do you deal with that?
Well, you know, the fact is, after Columbine, a lot of money was spent doing research on bullying, and what we discovered was that, now, what do you think the demographic of a bully is? What is the profile, do you think?
I'm going to think it's somebody actually with low self-esteem.
Okay, that's actually what everyone thinks, but it's not true. It turns out that the mean girls are the cheerleaders, the football captains, the school presidents. So all of this business about eradicating bullies is often problematic because we're expelling our best and brightest. What you have are alpha males and females doing what alpha males and females do, exerting pressure.
Oh.
The rest are the betas. Now, most of us are betas. I'm an unrepentant beta. I'm a big fan of, you know, the slow progress to world domination. If you don't believe that the geek will inherit the earth, go to your high school reunion. I mean, what happened to those people? I mean, a lot of them didn't pan out.
Right.
And some of them became Donald Trump, and you don't want to do that either, because that which is elevated will be reduced. So basically, betas need to have some techniques, and there are things you can teach them how to succeed in the world.
And such as?
Well, the first thing is that you want to make like a potted plant if you're dealing with someone who's bothering you a lot. Okay, so the first thing is bullies are going to get tired if you don't give them what they want. That is some kind of emotional response. Okay. The second thing is that
So
if
just
you
ignore them?
do nothing, and if actually the thing that they're getting in your business about may actually be overcome by events. So time is also to your benefit. Now, if it persists, then my step 2 is that you want to stop trying to be understood, because once you've determined you don't care about this person, why are you telling them how you feel?
Right.
I mean, they're actually benefiting from that. So what I tell people to do is to sit back, be quiet. Knowledge is power. Try to learn everything you can about the bully. You know, when we talk about idiosyncrasy credits, what that is when you get to a new job, for example, bullies aren't going to share. Those powerful people aren't going to open up their arms and share, even if you are a powerful person. So, in fact, in industrial psychoscience, you have to sort of be quiet for a whole year before you get to come out and say, look who I am, I have these ideas, let's change these things. So don't make yourself stand out too much. That's the second technique.
You also say to show up at events.
Absolutely, because, you know, people don't like marginalized people. Mystery breeds contempt. If they don't like you, they're going to pick on you. So if you show up at company events, family events, don't make yourself scarce, is what I'm trying to say, because you increase the odds that the bully will have a positive experience with you and actually turn out to like you. The other thing is that you begin to consolidate your own little
You become
groups
part of
friends.
the pack, don't you? I mean, you
Absolutely.
become part of the group.
Absolutely, and you form your own little coalitions. So later on, when the bully tries to turn people against you, people say, oh, I know him, but he's really nice. He plays pool with us. Yeah.
And you say, too, keep it formal.
Well, you definitely don't want to be personal, and the way to do that is to avoid you statements. You know, like, you did this to me. Just keep it formal, hide in the company rules, for example. You might want to become the model employee, that sort of thing. And never, ever, ever dress someone down in public. That used to be cause for a duel in Edwardian times.
Yeah.
So you never insult, even a bull. If you insult someone in public, you're going to have an enemy for life. So you definitely don't want to do that.
Oh, I mean, we just talked about the little boy that was forced to stand on the corner with the sign, the public humiliation. That's one of the biggest things ever, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
that child should have been picking up dog poop.
Thank
No.
you.
Actually, what you want to do is you want to relate the punishment to what the kid did.
Yeah.
So that kid should have written a card to the teacher, written a letter to the teacher. When a kid does something wrong, you want them to do some undoing.
Yeah, and so in the workplace or in life, when you're dealing with difficult people, if you're going to confront them, do it privately.
Yeah.
And do it in a formal kind of way. Don't be too emotional.
Absolutely, and you want to do what I call keep a jerk diary, because you may need it. So
At work especially, right?
That's right. Don't go to the boss every time somebody upsets you, or go to your teacher. I'm going to tell. That never works. In fact, it makes it worse for you. But do keep a record of every single incident that happened, all of the ways that you took the moral high ground, did the right thing, that they didn't do the right thing. Keep a file. Print off emails, Facebook things. You build a file on that person for two reasons. It may serve as a legal document later on. And secondly, it serves as a record for if you're dealing with family members that, in fact, you tried everything. We have notoriously bad memory when it comes to attributing fault to ourselves.
Right.
So you go, look, I did try all these things. I need to write this.
You don't want to keep a manifesto, do you? Just keep a note. Talk to him. Said.
There's nothing wrong with a manifesto. Do not go to a boss unless you can show that you've done everything you
Right.
could do before bringing it to the attention. Because a boss will fire you and not the bully. Believe me, bullies know what they're doing.
Right. Or you also say to use the mirror technique, and what do you mean by that?
Yeah, there's a researcher on bullying named Izzy Kalman who came up with this notion of he called it the golden rule technique. So I think we should do a demonstration.
All right.
It's kind of fun. So basically, I want you guys to be bullies. Shouldn't be hard.
Yeah, no, not hard.
Now I want you to pick on my facial hair, and say, who do you think you're, Freud? Let me have it. And then you're going to say your tie looks like a cat puked on it or whatever. I'll just help you out. But you can be creative.
Okay, good.
All right, let me have it, and I'll show you how not to respond.
Okay.
Well, you should have shaved this morning, looking a little scruffy.
That's kind of mean. That's
Just trying to help you out.
you have me on the show to be mean to me? Jeez.
I would think you would have bought a tie instead of just find one.
I'm going to tell the producer. I can't believe you. Okay, now this isn't going to work, right? Because
Right.
if you guys are bullies, this is going to encourage you. This is what you want.
Right.
So now, what the mirroring technique does is I'm going to treat you the way I hope you would someday treat me.
One quick example, then. Let's go.
Okay, go ahead,
All
go ahead.
That tie, I saw that when I was 3.
I know, I totally agree. In fact, I hate the way I dress. I watched the show for years. You guys look casual and cool. Maybe you could go to the mall with me. Would you do that?
Oh, there you go.
That'd be really cool.
I get
Let's
that.
grab a drink
Let's
after.
go.
That
I'll
sounds
wear
like
whatever
fun.
you
Look at that. She turned into a whole romance. Okay. All right, we're going to have the tips on our website, too. Thanks. Those are good pointers. We appreciate it.